On today's video, we're going to show you how to start using video even if you hate being on camera. And I'm hanging out with Justin Teoh. Join us. So I'm Jason Everett from Business Refuel, and this is my good friend
Justin Teoh from Australia.
Justin Teoh, and we're actually doing an event called the Online Video Marketing Summit, and we want to just take a quick second with you and give you some nuggets of value because Justin is a wealth of wisdom and knowledge. And as we've been talking to people about the Online Video Marketing Summit, one of the things that we realized is Justin, I was telling you, that people hate how they look on camera, and they go, you know what, I don't think I can use video to grow my business. So can you help them out? Can you tell them a couple things that they can do right now, whether they get tickets for the event or not? They can just, in this video, can you give them a couple tips? And thanks so much for being here, man.
Hey, totally, man, and always awesome to speak to you, Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah, really pumped about the event, and also just pumped to be able to, help people with getting into video. So,
Totally.
I guess, yeah, you're probably familiar with my story. The very first video I shot about 6 years ago or whatever, put up on YouTube. Probably the worst video you're ever going to see in your entire life, right? So,
we all have those embarrassing ones.
pretty much everything that I teach my students and my clients not to do on camera, I've done in this video. I'll hopefully be able to give you a clip of it, or if you want, you can find it on YouTube so that you can show everybody. But I've done everything wrong, right? The lighting's bad. I'm rambling on. The video's way too long. The quality's hopeless. I'm just rambling on about stuff, and I'm petrified of the camera. And here's the thing about this thing, right? That video was the worst video I ever made, but the second video I made was a bit better than that. My third video was a bit better than that, and it got to the stage where I'm pretty good on camera. But what a lot of people don't know, that very first video, that was actually my third time trying to make that very first video, okay? And it's because I had this thing in my head where it was like, oh my God, I've shot this video and I watch it again, and maybe you can relate to this, but you watch it and you think to yourself, ugh, do I really look like that?
Yeah, a lot of people worry about that.
Ugh, gosh, I sound so strange on camera as well, right? Like, why do I sound so weird? And I know that you'd know the answer to this, so I'll ask you: why do we, when we see ourselves on camera for the very first time, why do we look different? Do you know?
Well, yeah, good question. I mean, the thing I would know is you're used to seeing yourself in a mirror, and so you're kind of a mirror image, right? And most people, like especially me, I'm not symmetrical, right? I got one ear that sticks out a little different, one that's a little tighter. And so like when I see myself on camera, I'm like, who is that dude? Because that does not look like, is that right? Did I get it right?
Totally right,
Sweet.
right?
Yeah.
The image we're used to seeing, like you said, is a reflection, because we normally see ourselves in the mirror. So
Totally.
The image that a camera captures, or our true image, is actually the real image that everyone else in the world sees of us, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the second part to that is, why do we sound different when we hear ourselves on camera for the very first time?
Yeah, oh, you were asking me. I'll answer. The only thing I would say is usually listening, like it vibrates through your head. It sounds very different versus when it's recorded, right? And it kind of hears, again, you hear what everybody else hears instead of that way. I think that's what it is, yeah?
It's totally right.
Okay.
It's totally right.
Ah, I was paying attention the last time I was in your class. Thank God. Awesome.
But yeah, totally right. Like you say, the way sound travels is it travels through sound waves. So the voice that you can hear right now from me is traveling through the air, but the voice I hear in my head travels through my head. So it sounds very different.
Totally.
But I guess the voice that the microphone will pick up, or that the camera picks up, will be your true voice, or the voice that everyone else hears. So that's why we sound so weird and we look so alien when we see ourselves on camera.
So when you hear yourself talk, Justin, do you sound American or do you sound Australian when you speak? Just checking, because I didn't know if that was just how I heard you, if you hear yourself differently. Anyway, I'm just messing with you, man. Keep going, dude. Good tip.
I love it.
I'm sorry. I just have to.
British.
Yeah. I was gonna say, by the way, if you guys are enjoying this video, and hopefully you guys are, I just want to remind you, this is the kind of stuff you can expect if you come and hang out with us at the Video Marketing Summit. This is just how Justin and I are most of the time. So anyway, continue, Justin, and we'll give them some tips here. Can you give them a couple tips they can use so we can give them some good tips and make sure they have some immediately applicable stuff to use?
Awesome. Yeah, so I guess what you can do is, first off, just I guess one big thing that really helped me was just to realize that the voice that I hear on the camera and the person that I see on the camera is actually the voice and the image that everyone else sees, okay? So I might be judging it going, oh my gosh, that guy sounds so strange, that guy sounds so weird. But then when I show it to other people, they're like, but that's you. And what's interesting to know is that is who you really are, okay? It might sound strange to you, but to everybody else, your friends, your family, everyone else who interacts with you and who knows, likes, and trusts you, that's who you are. So one thing that really helped me was to, and I know this sounds really strange and it's quite hard for people to do, but watch yourself a few times, okay?
Yeah.
The first few times you do it, you're going to be cringing, you're going to be like throwing up, you're going to be like, turn it off. But after a while, you're going to get used to this weird sounding dude, this weird looking person. You're going to get used to that person and you're going to be like, well, you know what? That is my true self, okay? And even if you aren't into video, I'd actually suggest you doing it as well, just as part of like a just personal sort of development type thing, you know, just
Totally.
getting used to this is who I really am. This is what people like about me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that you can do. That's really, really helpful. The second thing that you can do is to kind of just keep doing it, right? I know this sounds strange, but what I like to do with a lot of my students is once you've started watching your videos yourself, find a community of supportive people, right? And post it up online. Okay, you don't have to. I kind of did. I went into the deep end. I just posted it up online for the world to see, right?
Yeah.
And I got the whole little voice going on. Oh, but what if people judge you? What if people comment? What if people say all this sort of stuff? And you know what happens? No one really watches that video, that very first video you put up. I've had this on for 6 years. I don't think I've even got over 1,000 views on it, right? I think it's only in the hundreds. And this has been up for years, okay? So what I would recommend first, though, is just baby steps. What I get a lot of my students to do is I'll form just a closed group on Facebook so you can get used to the idea of uploading videos where other people can see it. And what we do, and Jason's been a part of this process too, is give feedback, okay? So do your own sort of debrief. Hey, this is what I loved about my video. This is what I think I could have improved. And get supportive people around you who are going to watch your video and also say, well, you know what, this worked, work on this. You know, love this, work on that, basically, right?
Totally.
And, you know, what also helps is if you get those guys to post videos as well and you leave the same feedback. Mate, love this, work on that. And that means that when you watch other people's videos, you get an idea of what you like out of those. So, you know, our mentor, a guy called Blair, he always says the easiest way to learn something is to teach it. So by giving feedback to someone else's video, you kind of get a good idea of what you like and what you don't like. And then the very third step, you know, the last thing that really, really helps is actually just going for it. You know, just posting it up online.
Love it.
And just realizing that, you know, it's not about, maybe it's just a reframe where it's not about you so much, but it's about your viewer, okay? If you're coming from that perspective and all your content is for the viewer, the video that you make is for the viewer, and your message is for the viewer, it really changes everything. Suddenly all of these insecurities, I'm going to call them, shrink. They feel so much smaller when you realize, hey, there are so many people out there that I can help with my message, and I'm just going to share it. So 3 things that hopefully will help you get started by doing.
Awesome. And Justin, I just want to say thanks for sharing those tips, man. And for those of you guys that are watching, if you want to get more tips like this from Justin, obviously you can go and check him out online if you get the opportunity to. But what I want to say is come to the Online Video Marketing Summit. We are going to be doing that event here in Sacramento on October 8th and 9th downtown at the Sacramento Convention Center. Justin is flying all the way in from Australia to come do this event. And because you've watched this video and you are part of our community here at Business Refuel, you guys get to come at the lowest price offered anywhere, period, dot, which is $400 off. So general admission tickets are $497, and you can get discount tickets for $97, provided that you register right away. Those ticket sales are ending very quickly for that $97. So If you think that hanging out with Justin for a couple days, hanging out with me for a couple days, hanging out with the other great speakers who are going to be there is going to be awesome, there really should be nowhere else you should be on October 8th and 9th. So, Justin, thank you so much for hanging out with us. In the comment section below, I would just invite you guys to say, what was the one thing that you took away from this video that you found the most value from? And if you thought Justin was awesome, just say, Justin is awesome in the comment section, and I'll take that too. Justin, my man, thank you so much for being on with us. Feel free, again, check out Justin Teoh on Facebook, and check out Business Refuel on Facebook or other resources like YouTube as well. Thank you so much for being on with us today, Justin. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Welcome, brother.
Awesome,
Thanks.
man.